The morning sun cast long shadows across the training compound as Staff Sergeant Maya Rodriguez adjusted her tactical vest one final time. At 28, she had already proven herself in 3 deployments, but today felt different. Today, she would be evaluated alongside Navy SEALs for the first time in her career. Lieutenant Commander Jake Morrison watched from the observation deck as the newest addition to their joint task force prepared for the exercise. He had read her file twice, impressed by her marksmanship scores and combat experience, but skeptical about how she would perform under their standards. The SEALs had their reputation for a reason, and adding an Army sniper to their team was still an experiment. "Sir, the exercise parameters are locked in," Petty Officer Davis reported, handing Morrison a tablet displaying the simulation details. 12 hostiles, urban environment, civilians present. Standard rescue scenario. Morrison nodded, his eyes still fixed on Rodriguez. She moved with quiet confidence, checking her weapon systems with the methodical precision he expected from elite operators. Her M4 carbine was customized to her specifications, and the compact sniper rifle strapped to her back showed signs of extensive field use. The exercise zone sprawled across 15 acres of constructed buildings, designed to replicate Middle Eastern urban environments. Concrete structures rose 3 stories high, connected by narrow alleyways, and overlooked by strategic vantage points. Hidden throughout the maze were motion sensors, cameras, and pop-up targets designed to test reflexes and decision-making under pressure. Rodriguez entered the briefing room where 8 SEALs sat waiting. The atmosphere was cordial but reserved. These men had trained together for years, developing an almost telepathic communication style that came from shared hardship and mutual trust. She understood that earning their respect would take time and proven performance. "The scenario is straightforward," began Master Chief Petty Officer Williams, a veteran with 22 years of service. "Terrorist cell has taken 12 hostages in a residential compound. Intelligence suggests 10 to 15 hostiles, armed with AK-47s and improvised explosive devices. Your mission is to neutralize threats and extract civilians with 0 friendly casualties." The team studied satellite imagery of the target zone, identifying entry points, escape routes, and potential sniper positions. Rodriguez listened intently, noting how each SEAL contributed tactical insights based on their specialized roles. The team leader, Chief Petty Officer Martinez, assigned positions with military precision. "Rodriguez, you'll provide overwatch from Building 7, Martinez announced, pointing to a structure overlooking the main compound. "We need eyes on the entire area and precision fire support when called." She nodded, understanding the critical nature of her assignment. Sniper overwatch required not just marksmanship skills, but the ability to track multiple targets simultaneously while maintaining communication with ground forces. One mistake could compromise the entire mission. As the team moved toward the exercise zone, Rodriguez felt the familiar pre-mission calm settle over her. This mental state had served her well during her tours in Afghanistan, where she had earned a reputation for impossible shots under extreme pressure. Her longest confirmed kill was 1,847 meters, a record that had drawn the attention of special operations recruiters. The urban environment presented unique challenges compared to the mountainous terrain where she had honed her skills. Buildings created wind patterns that could affect bullet trajectory, while multiple levels provided both opportunities and obstacles for effective overwatch. She would need to adapt quickly to support her new teammates. Building 7 stood 4 stories tall with a partially destroyed facade that provided natural concealment for her sniper position. Rodriguez climbed the stairs carefully, testing each step for stability while scanning for potential threats. The simulation was designed to be unpredictable, with pop-up targets appearing at random intervals. From the rooftop, she had a commanding view of the entire exercise area. Her scope swept across windows, doorways, and rooftops where threats might emerge. The other SEALs moved into position below, their black uniforms blending with shadows as they approached the target building from 3 different angles. "Overwatch in position," Rodriguez reported through her headset, her voice steady and professional. "I have visual on all approach routes and the target structure. No movement detected." The response came immediately from Martinez. "Copy that, Overwatch." We're beginning our approach. Keep us informed of any changes. Rodriguez settled into her shooting position, adjusting her bipod for maximum stability. Her rifle was a precision instrument, capable of putting bullets exactly where she intended at distances exceeding 800 meters. Today's engagement would likely be much closer, requiring rapid target acquisition and multiple quick shots. The first sign of activity came from a second-story window in the target building. A figure appeared briefly, scanning the area with binoculars before withdrawing. Rodriguez tracked the movement through her scope, noting the target's position for future reference. The exercise was beginning to feel real, adrenaline sharpening her focus. Movement detected, second floor, northwest window, she reported. Possible lookout. Martinez acknowledged her report as his team continued their careful advance. The SEALs moved with practiced stealth, using abandoned vehicles and debris piles for concealment. Their coordination was flawless, each man knowing exactly where his teammates were positioned without constant communication. Suddenly, the simulation erupted into chaos. Pop-up targets emerged from multiple positions simultaneously, their sensors designed to detect and record hits with millisecond precision. Rodriguez's training took over as she identified priority threats and began engaging with rapid, precise shots. Her first target appeared on a rooftop 300 meters away, a figure aiming an RPG at the advancing SEALs. Rodriguez's rifle cracked once, the target disappearing immediately as her bullet found its mark. She was already acquiring her second target before the first had fully dropped. A muzzle flash from a ground-floor window drew her attention. The shooter was firing at Martinez's position, forcing the team leader to seek cover behind a concrete barrier. Rodriguez's crosshairs settled on the window, and she squeezed the trigger smoothly. The hostile vanished, allowing Martinez to continue his advance. "Nice shooting, Overwatch," came the terse acknowledgement through her headset. "Keep it up." The pace of engagement intensified as more targets revealed themselves. Rodriguez found herself firing at threats emerging from multiple buildings, her rifle cycling rapidly as she maintained accuracy under pressure. Each shot required split-second decisions about target priority and civilian safety. A particularly challenging shot presented itself when a hostile used a civilian dummy as a human shield. The target was visible only as a small section of shoulder and head, requiring precision that would test even her considerable skills. Rodriguez controlled her breathing, calculated wind effect, and fired. The target dropped while the civilian remained undamaged. The ground team advanced steadily through the urban maze, their progress marked by the elimination of simulated threats. Rodriguez's Overwatch position allowed her to guide their movement, warning them of obstacles and providing covering fire when needed. Her role as the eyes of the operation proved invaluable. "Two hostiles moving toward your position from the east," she warned Martinez. "They're using the alley for concealment." The SEALs adjusted their approach, setting up an ambush that eliminated both threats without exposing themselves to enemy fire. Rodriguez continued scanning for additional targets, her scope moving constantly across the exercise zone. The simulation was designed to be unpredictable, with new threats emerging throughout the scenario. A sniper's greatest asset was patience, but this exercise demanded rapid response to evolving situations. Rodriguez found herself engaging targets at ranges from 50 meters to over 400, each shot requiring different techniques and considerations. Her muscle memory served her well, allowing instinctive adjustments for distance and conditions. The SEALs reached the target building and began their breach. Rodriguez shifted her focus to potential escape routes, watching for hostiles attempting to flee with hostages. Her position provided coverage of all exit points, creating an effective containment zone around the objective. As the team entered the building, Rodriguez detected movement on a distant rooftop. A figure was setting up what appeared to be a heavy machine gun, positioning it to fire on the extraction point. This target represented a significant threat to the mission's success and required immediate attention. The range was nearly 500 meters, complicated by crosswinds, and the target's partial concealment behind a ventilation unit. Rodriguez adjusted her scope settings, calculated the necessary lead, and fired. The bullet flew true, striking the hostile center mass and eliminating the threat before he could open fire. Overwatch, that was outstanding. Martinez's voice carried genuine admiration. You just saved our extraction. The exercise continued with brutal intensity as the SEALs cleared the building room by room. Rodriguez provided continuous support, engaging threats that appeared in windows and doorways. Her ammunition count was dropping steadily, but her accuracy remained consistently high. Inside the building, the team encountered prepared positions and complex firing angles that challenged their tactical skills. Rodriguez could hear the engagement through her headset, the sharp crack of gunfire and urgent tactical communications painting a picture of intense close-quarters combat. "We need suppressive fire on the third floor, east side," came the urgent request from Chief Davis. "They've got us pinned down." Rodriguez located the hostile position and began placing precision shots through the window, forcing the enemy to seek cover and allowing the SEALs to advance. Her ability to provide immediate fire support proved crucial to the team's success. The simulation's complexity increased as civilian dummies were introduced into the tactical picture. Rodriguez had to identify and engage threats while ensuring no harm came to noncombatants. This required split-second recognition and exceptional fire discipline. A particularly challenging scenario developed when multiple hostiles emerged simultaneously from different buildings. Rodriguez prioritized targets based on their threat level to the ground team, engaging a rocket-propelled grenade operator first, followed by machine gunners and riflemen. Her rapid engagement eliminated 5 threats in less than 30 seconds. The SEALs completed their building clearance and began extracting the simulated hostages. Rodriguez maintained overwatch on the extraction route, scanning for threats that might jeopardize the mission's final phase. Her vigilance detected 2 more hostiles attempting to set up an ambush along the escape route. Both threats were eliminated with quick, precise shots before they could engage the extraction team. Rodriguez's total engagement count was climbing steadily, but she maintained her focus on mission completion rather than personal statistics. As the exercise neared its conclusion, a final challenge presented itself. Multiple pop-up targets emerged simultaneously from concealed positions, representing a last-ditch enemy assault on the extraction point. Rodriguez engaged rapidly, her rifle firing as quickly as she could acquire new targets. The intensity of this final engagement pushed her skills to their limits. Targets appeared and disappeared within seconds, requiring instantaneous target acquisition and engagement. Rodriguez's training and experience served her well as she eliminated threat after threat with mechanical precision. When the exercise concluded, an eerie silence settled over the compound. Rodriguez remained in position, scanning for any additional threats while the SEALs completed their extraction with all hostages safely recovered. The mission parameters had been met with complete success. "All call signs, exercise complete," announced Master Chief Williams over the radio. "Return to the briefing room for immediate after-action review." Rodriguez secured her weapon and began her descent from Building 7, her mind already reviewing the engagement sequences. She had fired 37 shots during the 18-minute exercise, and preliminary indicators suggested exceptional accuracy. However, her primary concern was how well she had supported her new teammates. Morrison tapped the screen of his tablet, pulling up the detailed analytics from the exercise. Numbers scrolled across the display, showing reaction times, accuracy percentages, and target engagement sequences. The data painted a comprehensive picture of each operator's performance during the simulation. "Rodriguez," he began, his voice carrying a tone she couldn't interpret, "your shooting statistics are interesting." She maintained her composure, waiting for the complete assessment. In her experience, military evaluations could be unpredictable, and exceptional performance didn't always translate to acceptance within established teams. The SEALs had their own culture and standards that extended beyond simple marksmanship. "You engaged 10 distinct threats during the 18-minute exercise," Morrison continued, consulting his tablet. "All 10 targets were eliminated with single shots. Your accuracy rate was 100%, with an average engagement time of 1.2 seconds from target identification to elimination." The silence in the room was profound. Rodriguez noticed several team members exchanging glances, but their expressions remained professionally neutral. She had learned not to read too much into initial reactions, knowing that respect had to be earned through consistent performance over time. Chief Martinez leaned forward in his chair, his weathered features showing genuine interest. Walk us through your target prioritization process. How did you decide which threats to engage first when multiple targets appeared simultaneously? Rodriguez considered her response carefully. These men were tactical experts who understood the complexities of combat decision-making. Her explanation needed to demonstrate both technical competence and tactical awareness that would resonate with their experience. Threat assessment follows a hierarchy based on immediate danger to ground forces, she replied. RPG operators receive highest priority due to area effect potential, followed by machine gunners who can pin down advancing teams. Individual riflemen are engaged based on their positioning and fields of fire. Petty Officer Davis nodded approvingly. That's textbook threat prioritization. But how do you maintain that analysis under pressure when targets are popping up every few seconds? Training creates muscle memory for threat recognition, Rodriguez explained. After thousands of hours on the range and multiple combat deployments, target classification becomes instinctive. The scope shows me weapon types and positioning, and experience provides immediate threat rankings. Master Chief Williams had remained quiet during the initial discussion, but now he spoke with the authority that came from decades of special operations experience. Marksmanship is one component of effective Overwatch. Tell us about your communication and coordination with ground forces. This question addressed a crucial aspect of sniper operations that extended far beyond shooting ability. Effective snipers served as force multipliers, providing intelligence and fire support that enhanced overall mission effectiveness. Rodriguez understood that her answer would determine her acceptance within the team. Overwatch serves as the eyes of the operation, she responded. My position provided comprehensive surveillance of all approach routes, allowing me to warn ground forces of threats before they became immediate dangers. Communication needs to be precise and timely without cluttering the radio frequency. Lieutenant Commander Morrison pulled up a different screen on his tablet, displaying a timeline of radio communications during the exercise. Your warnings about hostile movements were consistently 15 to 20 seconds ahead of visual contact by ground forces. That's exceptional situational awareness. The praise was delivered in measured tones, but Rodriguez detected a note of genuine appreciation. Special operations units valued operators who enhanced team capabilities rather than simply performing individual tasks well. Her ability to provide advance warning had clearly impressed the SEAL team. There's something else we need to discuss, Martinez interjected, his expression becoming more serious. During the final engagement sequence, you eliminated 5 targets in 30 seconds while ground forces were extracting hostages. That level of rapid precision fire is unusual. Rodriguez felt a moment of uncertainty, wondering if her aggressive engagement had somehow violated protocols or created safety concerns. Rapid fire could sometimes compromise accuracy, and special operations units prioritized mission completion over individual statistics. The targets represented an immediate threat to extraction, she explained. Multiple shooters with clear fields of fire on the egress route required immediate neutralization to ensure hostage safety. I maintained sight picture and breathing control throughout the engagement sequence. Davis consulted his own notes from the exercise. We monitored your shots through the acoustic sensors. Even during rapid fire, your muzzle control remained consistent. That suggests exceptional weapon handling and physical conditioning. The technical discussion revealed the depth of analysis applied to special operations training. Every aspect of performance was measured and evaluated, creating comprehensive assessments that went far beyond surface observations. Rodriguez appreciated the thoroughness, knowing it reflected the unit's commitment to excellence. Morrison stood and moved to a wall-mounted display screen. Let's review the exercise footage to understand how your Overwatch position contributed to overall mission success. The screen lit up with aerial footage of the exercise zone, shot from drones positioned throughout the area. Rodriguez watched herself moving through Building 7, establishing her sniper position with efficient movements that minimized exposure time. Her setup demonstrated the methodical approach that characterized professional snipers. The footage continued, showing the SEAL team's approach to the target building. Rodriguez could see her muzzle flashes in the distance as she engaged threats, each shot precisely timed to support ground force movements. The coordination appeared seamless from the aerial perspective. Notice how her engagement timing allows continuous ground force movement, Martinez pointed out to the team. She's not just shooting targets, she's managing the tactical tempo of the entire operation. This observation highlighted a sophisticated understanding of sniper employment that extended beyond individual marksmanship. Effective snipers controlled battlefield timing, creating windows of opportunity for ground forces while denying the enemy freedom of movement. Rodriguez's performance demonstrated mastery of these advanced concepts. The video reached the final engagement sequence where multiple targets had appeared simultaneously. From the aerial view, Rodriguez's rapid engagement created a clear corridor for hostage extraction, eliminating threats before they could establish effective firing positions. "Freeze the video right there," Williams commanded. The screen paused with Rodriguez's rifle trained on a distant target, while SEALs moved hostages toward extraction vehicles. This moment represents perfect sniper employment. Overwatch providing security while ground forces complete mission objectives. The analysis continued for another 20 minutes, covering various aspects of tactical coordination and individual performance. Rodriguez answered questions about her equipment choices, shooting positions, and decision-making process throughout the exercise. The SEALs' questions demonstrated their deep understanding of sniper operations. When the formal debriefing concluded, Morrison dismissed the team for a break before afternoon training. Rodriguez gathered her equipment, uncertain about her status within the unit. The evaluation had been thorough and professional, but she couldn't gauge whether she had met their standards for integration. "Rodriguez, hold up a minute," Martinez called as she reached the door. "We need to talk." She turned back, noting that Morrison and Williams had remained behind as well. The three senior leaders represented the decision-making authority for her continued participation with the team. Their expressions remained professionally neutral, providing no indication of their assessment. "In 23 years of special operations," Williams began, "I've worked with some exceptional snipers. Your performance today ranks among the best I've witnessed." The unexpected praise caught Rodriguez off guard. She had expected a more reserved response, knowing that elite units typically maintained high standards that were difficult to achieve on first attempts. Her expression remained composed while she processed the feedback. Morrison nodded in agreement. "Your technical skills are obviously exceptional, but what impressed us most was your understanding of sniper employment within a team framework. You enhanced our capabilities rather than simply performing individual tasks." That said, Martinez added, "Today was a controlled exercise. Real operations involve variables that can't be simulated. We'd like to offer you a position on the team, pending completion of our selection process." Rodriguez felt a surge of satisfaction mixed with renewed determination. Earning a place with Navy SEALs represented a significant career achievement, but she understood that today's success was only the beginning of a much larger challenge. Special operations demanded consistent excellence under conditions that tested every aspect of an operator's capabilities. "I accept," she replied simply, knowing that elaborate responses were unnecessary. Her performance would speak more clearly than words about her commitment to the team and mission. "Good," Williams said. "Your first real mission briefing is tomorrow morning at 0600. We're deploying to North Africa next week for a counterterrorism operation. You'll be our primary Overwatch." The announcement marked a transition from training to operational reality. Rodriguez understood that her next test would come under genuine combat conditions where mistakes carried lethal consequences. The thought focused her mind on the preparations necessary for mission success. As she left the briefing room, Rodriguez reflected on the day's events. Joining the SEAL team represented the culmination of years of training and dedication, but it also marked the beginning of new challenges. She would need to prove herself repeatedly in increasingly demanding situations. The remainder of the afternoon was spent in equipment preparation and additional briefings. Rodriguez learned about the team's standard operating procedures, communication protocols, and mission planning processes. Each detail contributed to her integration within the unit's established framework. Her weapon systems required customization to match the team's specifications. Radio equipment needed programming for their frequency assignments, and her personal gear required inspection to ensure compatibility with SEAL equipment standards. These technical details were crucial for seamless operations. That evening, Rodriguez studied intelligence reports about their upcoming deployment area. The terrain differed significantly from her previous experience in Afghanistan, requiring adaptation of her tactics to new environmental conditions. Desert operations presented unique challenges for sniper employment. Wind patterns in North Africa could be unpredictable, requiring constant adjustment of ballistic calculations. Heat mirages would affect target identification at longer ranges, while sand infiltration could compromise weapon reliability. Each factor required consideration in her preparation process. She also researched the enemy forces they might encounter during the deployment. Intelligence reports described well-trained adversaries with sophisticated weapons and tactics. These opponents would present genuine challenges that demanded respect and careful preparation. The team gathered for dinner at a local restaurant, providing Rodriguez with her first opportunity for informal interaction with her new teammates. Away from the formal training environment, the SEALs revealed personalities and interests that humanized their professional competence. Davis had completed a master's degree in engineering before joining the Navy, and he discussed technical aspects of their equipment with obvious expertise. His understanding of ballistics and weapon systems provided valuable insights for Rodriguez's continued learning. Martinez shared stories from previous deployments, describing challenging situations that had tested the team's capabilities. These accounts provided context for the standards expected of special operations personnel while highlighting the importance of teamwork and mutual support. The conversation gradually turned to Rodriguez's background and experience. She described her path from small-town Texas to Army sniper training, including the mentors who had shaped her development. Her story resonated with men who had followed their own unique paths to special operations. Williams had grown up on a ranch in Montana, developing shooting skills while hunting before discovering his military calling. His transition from conventional infantry to special operations had required years of dedicated training and multiple selection processes. The shared experiences created bonds that transcended service branch differences. All special operations personnel faced similar challenges in pursuing excellence under extreme conditions. These common struggles formed the foundation for mutual respect and team cohesion. As the evening concluded, Rodriguez felt genuinely welcomed by her new teammates. Their acceptance wasn't based solely on her shooting performance, but on her demonstrated understanding of special operations culture and commitment to team success. Tomorrow starts the real preparation, Martinez reminded her as they prepared to leave. Desert operations require different skills and mindset than what we practice today. You'll need to adapt quickly. Rodriguez nodded, understanding that her learning process was far from complete. Each new environment and mission type would demand additional skills and knowledge. Continuous improvement was essential for survival and success in special operations. 3 weeks later, Rodriguez found herself lying prone on a rocky outcropping overlooking a terrorist compound in the Moroccan desert. The intelligence briefing had described a time-sensitive target opportunity involving high-value individuals planning attacks against civilian infrastructure. Her role as primary overwatch would be crucial to mission success. The pre-dawn darkness provided concealment for the SEAL team's approach, but Rodriguez had been in position for over 2 hours, studying the target area through her night vision scope. The compound consisted of 3 main buildings surrounded by a perimeter wall, with guard positions clearly visible at key points. Overwatch, this is ground leader. Martinez's voice came through her earpiece. We're beginning final approach. Status report. Rodriguez swept her scope across the compound one more time, counting personnel and noting their movement patterns. Ground leader. I have visual on 8 sentries maintaining regular patrols. No change in routine over the past 90 minutes. All approach routes appear clear. The intelligence assessment had estimated 15 to 20 hostiles within the compound, armed with automatic weapons and possibly explosive devices. The team's mission was to capture or eliminate the terrorist leadership while securing intelligence materials stored in the central building. Rodriguez adjusted her position slightly, ensuring optimal fields of fire to support the ground team's assault. Her rifle was loaded with match-grade ammunition selected specifically for the longer ranges expected in desert operations. Each shot would need to count in the unforgiving environment. The desert air was crystal clear, providing excellent visibility, but also creating challenges with heat mirages that could distort target images at extreme ranges. Rodriguez had spent hours during their preparation studying ballistic tables and practicing range estimation under similar conditions. "Ground leader, be advised," Rodriguez whispered into her microphone. "Sentry pattern indicates guard change in approximately 6 minutes. This creates a window for undetected approach to the north wall." Martinez acknowledged her intelligence update, adjusting his team's timing to exploit the temporary security gap. Rodriguez's ability to predict enemy behavior based on careful observation was proving invaluable for mission planning and execution. The SEAL team moved like shadows across the desert terrain, using natural depressions and scattered rocks for concealment. Rodriguez tracked their progress through her scope, ready to provide covering fire if they were detected before reaching their assault positions. A new development caught her attention as additional personnel emerged from the compound's main building. Rodriguez counted 6 more individuals, all carrying weapons and moving with purpose toward defensive positions. The intelligence estimate had been conservative regarding enemy numbers. "Ground leader, enemy strength is higher than expected," she reported. Additional 6 hostiles just took positions around the perimeter. Total count now 14 visible. The information prompted immediate tactical adjustments as Martinez redistributed his assault teams to account for increased resistance. Rodriguez continued her careful surveillance, noting weapon types and positioning to provide comprehensive threat assessment for the ground forces. The guard change occurred exactly as Rodriguez had predicted, creating a brief window of reduced alertness along the northern approach route. The SEALs exploited this opportunity perfectly, reaching the compound wall without detection. Their movement demonstrated the exceptional training and coordination that characterized elite units. "Overwatch, we're in position for breach," Martinez reported. "Stand by for coordinated assault." Rodriguez shifted to her primary shooting position, settling behind her rifle with practiced efficiency. Her breathing slowed as she entered the focused mental state required for precision shooting under combat conditions. Every muscle relaxed except those necessary for weapon control. The assault began with explosive charges breaching the compound's main gate and north wall simultaneously. Rodriguez immediately engaged a sentry who appeared on a rooftop, attempting to bring an RPG to bear on the entry teams. Her shot eliminated the threat before he could fire. The compound erupted in chaos as automatic weapons fire echoed off the concrete walls. Rodriguez methodically engaged targets that appeared in windows and doorways, her rifle cracking with measured precision. Each shot was carefully aimed to support the ground team's advance. A muzzle flash from a second-story window drew her attention. The hostile was firing down at Martinez's position, forcing the team leader to seek cover behind an abandoned vehicle. Rodriguez's response was immediate, her bullet finding its mark and eliminating the threat. "Nice shot, Overwatch." Martinez's terse acknowledgement came through the radio. "That was getting hot down here." The intensity of combat escalated as more defenders emerged from concealed positions throughout the compound. Rodriguez found herself engaging multiple targets in rapid succession, her training allowing smooth transitions between different shooting positions and ranges. A particularly challenging shot presented itself when a hostile appeared briefly in a ground floor doorway, using the opening for cover while firing at the advancing SEALs. Rodriguez had only a small portion of the target visible, requiring exceptional precision to avoid hitting the door frame. Her shot was perfect, striking the enemy combatant center mass and eliminating the threat. The ground team acknowledged the elimination and continued their methodical clearing of the compound's buildings. Rodriguez maintained Overwatch, scanning for additional threats. The radio crackled with tactical communications as the SEAL teams coordinated their building clearance. Rodriguez could track their progress by following the sound of gunfire and explosive breaches as they moved from room to room, eliminating resistance and securing objectives. Overwatch, we need immediate suppressive fire on Building 2, third floor, came an urgent request from Petty Officer Davis. Heavy resistance is slowing our advance. Rodriguez located the specified window and began placing precision shots to force the defenders away from their firing positions. Her accurate fire allowed the ground team to advance and complete their clearance operations. The coordination between Overwatch and assault elements was functioning perfectly. A new threat emerged as Rodriguez detected movement on a distant rooftop beyond the compound. Through her scope, she identified a sniper taking position with a clear field of fire on the extraction area. This enemy marksman represented a significant danger to mission completion. The range was nearly 600 meters, complicated by crosswinds, and the shooter's partial concealment behind a ventilation unit. Rodriguez calculated the necessary ballistic corrections, controlled her breathing, and fired. The enemy sniper dropped immediately, eliminated before he could engage friendly forces. Outstanding shot, Overwatch. Williams' voice carried genuine admiration. You just saved our extraction. The ground teams continued their operations, securing intelligence materials and searching for high-value targets. Rodriguez maintained her vigilant surveillance, knowing that threats could emerge from any direction during the compound clearance phase. Multiple explosions echoed from within the compound as the SEALs eliminated booby traps and secured sensitive areas. The operation was proceeding according to plan, but Rodriguez remained alert for threats that might jeopardize the mission's final phases. A group of 3 hostiles attempted to flee the compound through a rear exit, apparently carrying important materials with them. Rodriguez engaged the group systematically, eliminating all 3 threats before they could escape with potentially valuable intelligence. 3 runners eliminated at the south exit, she reported. Recovered materials should be secured by ground forces. The tactical situation was evolving rapidly as the SEALs completed their primary objectives. Rodriguez's role shifted to providing security for the extraction phase, scanning approach routes for enemy reinforcements or fleeing personnel who might pose threats. Her ammunition count was dropping steadily, but Rodriguez maintained careful fire discipline throughout the engagement. Each shot served a specific tactical purpose, whether eliminating immediate threats or suppressing enemy positions to support friendly movement. The ground teams began their extraction procedures, moving toward the designated pickup zone while carrying secured intelligence materials and any captured personnel. Rodriguez adjusted her Overwatch to cover their movement route, watching for threats along the egress path. A final challenge emerged as enemy reinforcements appeared on the horizon, moving toward the compound in vehicles that kicked up distinctive dust clouds. Rodriguez estimated their arrival time and reported the intelligence to ground forces, allowing them to adjust extraction timing accordingly. Ground leader, enemy vehicles approaching from the east, she warned. Estimated arrival in 8 minutes. Recommend expedited extraction. The information prompted immediate action as extraction helicopters were called in ahead of schedule. Rodriguez maintained Overwatch on both the approaching threats and the extraction zone, ready to engage targets that might interfere with pickup operations. The helicopters arrived with characteristic precision, touching down in the designated zone while maintaining minimal ground contact time. Rodriguez provided security Overwatch as the SEAL teams boarded with their recovered materials and mission personnel. As the aircraft lifted off, Rodriguez gathered her equipment and prepared for her own extraction from the Overwatch position. Her mission was complete, but she remained alert for threats until safely aboard the recovery helicopter that arrived minutes later. The flight back to base provided time for initial mission assessment and equipment inventory. Rodriguez had expended 32 rounds during the operation, with preliminary reports indicating exceptional accuracy throughout the engagement sequence. More importantly, the mission had achieved all primary objectives. Rodriguez, Martinez said over the aircraft intercom, "Your Overwatch support was flawless. That sniper elimination probably saved lives during extraction." The recognition from her team leader carried special meaning, representing acceptance earned through performance under genuine combat conditions. Rodriguez understood that today's success would influence her standing within the unit and future mission assignments. Upon landing, the team immediately entered the debriefing process. Intelligence personnel questioned them about enemy capabilities, compound layout, and materials recovered during the operation. Rodriguez provided detailed information about hostile numbers and defensive positions observed during her overwatch. The formal after-action review revealed the full scope of her contribution to mission success. Rodriguez had eliminated 10 confirmed threats during the 18-minute ground assault, providing crucial support that enabled the SEAL team to complete their objectives without friendly casualties. 10 confirmed eliminations in 18 minutes, Morrison announced during the debrief. All precision shots with no collateral damage. That level of performance is exceptional under any circumstances. Rodriguez maintained her professional composure while internally savoring the recognition. Earning respect within the special operations community required proven performance under combat conditions. Today's mission had provided that validation in the most demanding environment possible. The detailed statistics painted a picture of extraordinary marksmanship under combat pressure. Rodriguez's longest shot had been 580 meters against the enemy sniper, while her average engagement time remained under 2 seconds throughout the operation. The numbers reflected years of dedicated training and natural ability. More importantly, Williams added, your tactical awareness and communication prevented several potential problems. That early warning about guard changes allowed perfect timing for our assault. The comprehensive assessment covered all aspects of her performance, from technical marksmanship to tactical integration with ground forces. Rodriguez had demonstrated mastery of sniper employment that extended far beyond simple shooting ability. Following the formal debrief, the team gathered for their traditional post-mission meal. The atmosphere was relaxed and celebratory, marked by the satisfaction that came from successful completion of a challenging operation. Rodriguez felt genuinely welcomed as a full member of the unit. You've definitely earned your place on this team, Davis told her during dinner. That was some of the best Overwatch support I've experienced in 12 years of special operations. The acceptance represented more than professional recognition. These men trusted each other with their lives during the most dangerous operations imaginable. Being welcomed into that brotherhood carried responsibilities that extended far beyond individual performance. Over the following days, Rodriguez received additional recognition for her performance during the Morocco operation. Her shooting statistics and tactical contributions were documented in official reports that would influence special operations doctrine and training programs. The mission had demonstrated that her integration with the SEAL team was complete. Rodriguez had proven her ability to perform at the highest levels under combat conditions while enhancing overall team effectiveness. Her unique skills and perspective had made the unit more capable. Future operations would bring new challenges and opportunities to prove herself repeatedly. Rodriguez understood that success in special operations required consistent excellence rather than single exceptional performances. Each mission would test her capabilities anew. But, for now, she could take satisfaction in knowing that her childhood dreams of military service had led to membership in one of the world's elite fighting units. The journey from small-town Texas to Navy SEAL operations had required sacrifice and dedication, but the results justified every challenge overcome. As she cleaned her rifle after the mission, Rodriguez reflected on the path that had brought her to this moment. Each training session, each deployment, each shot fired in practice had contributed to her readiness for today's success. The preparation had been worth the extraordinary demands placed upon her. Tomorrow would bring new training, new missions, and new opportunities to serve alongside the exceptional warriors who had accepted her as their teammate. Rodriguez looked forward to each challenge, knowing that she had found her place among America's finest special operations personnel. The drive back to base gave her time to reflect on the dramatic changes in her career trajectory. Just that morning, she had been uncertain about her acceptance by the SEAL team. Now she was preparing for deployment as their primary sniper, facing challenges that would test every aspect of her training. Her apartment felt strangely quiet after the intensity of the day's events. Rodriguez cleaned and inspected her weapons, a ritual that provided both practical benefits and psychological preparation for upcoming operations. The familiar motions helped her process the day's experiences. She made notes about equipment modifications needed before deployment, including scope adjustments for desert conditions and ammunition selection for longer-range engagements. These technical preparations were crucial for operational success in the challenging environment they would face. Before sleeping, Rodriguez reviewed her personal goals and motivations. Joining the SEAL team represented a significant achievement, but it also carried increased responsibilities and expectations. She needed to maintain the standards that had earned her position while continuing to grow as an operator. The morning would bring new challenges and learning opportunities. Rodriguez understood that proving herself during today's exercise was only the first step in a much longer journey. Real operations would test her capabilities in ways that no training scenario could replicate. As she drifted off to sleep, Rodriguez felt a deep sense of satisfaction mixed with anticipation. Tomorrow would begin preparations for her first mission as a Navy SEAL team member, facing genuine threats in defense of national security. The responsibility was sobering and inspiring in equal measure. The walk back to the briefing room gave her time to decompress from the intense concentration required for precision shooting. Her legs felt slightly unsteady, a normal physiological response to the adrenaline and focused intensity of combat simulation. The exercise had been more challenging than she anticipated. Other team members were already gathering when she arrived at the debriefing area. Their expressions were unreadable, maintaining the professional demeanor expected of elite operators. Rodriguez knew that their true assessment would come during the detailed review of her performance. Lieutenant Commander Morrison entered carrying a tablet loaded with exercise data. Electronic sensors throughout the course had recorded every shot fired, tracking accuracy percentages and engagement timelines with precise detail. This information would form the basis for their evaluation of her integration potential. Before we begin the formal debrief, Morrison announced, "I want to address the elephant in the room. Today's exercise was designed to push everyone to their limits, and the results were remarkable." Rodriguez waited, unsure what to expect from her first evaluation with the SEAL team. She had given her best effort, but elite units maintained standards that could be difficult to predict or achieve. Her military experience had taught her that performance expectations could vary significantly between units.